You're going to need 4 library cards that go inside the pockets. So just take an 8.5 by 11 sheet of white paper. And we're going to do the 4.5 the long way. If you do the 4.5 on this side, you should be able to get all 4 of them out of this. 4.5, and then do another 4.5. So cut twice. And then we're going to turn that 4.5 sideways, and we're going to go for our 3 inches. So 3. It's a 4.5 by 3. I'm going to cut another one. 4.5 by 3. You're going to have a little bit of extra there. It's not quite long enough. Take your other half sheet, turn it to the side. Cut it at 3, so you have 4.5 by 3. And one more at 3. It gives you 4.5 by 3. So you'll have 2 extra sheets of paper. And you'll have 4 library cards for your inserts. Okay, we've got our 4 library pocket cards finished, just the cards. Now we're going to work on making the pocket folders, or the pocket holders. They call it a library card book pocket template. I know that some people can't print, and this is the copyright of acherryontop.com. This is where we got it for the challenge. Okay, we just printed them out, and then we would use this as a template and trace it. But some of you that cannot print, I found an easier way. So we're gonna actually cut the paper at 4 by 7 inches. So I'm gonna do one right now. I'm gonna cut it at. I'm gonna take it the 7 inches first. And then I'm going to do the 4 to equal a 4 by 7. And we want 4 pockets, so that's a 4 by 7. And then I'm going to do a 4 again. 4 by 7. And because it's a 12-inch across, this one ought to be 4 by 7. And it is. So I've already got 3. And now I need to cut my last piece at 4, the long piece we had left over, the long way, because then you want to turn it that way so you can get your last 7. And you just have a little piece of scrap that we can use for embellishing later on. Okay, next we're going to take the 4 pockets that we just made, and we're going to finish those. We're going to put them the 7-inch way down, and we're going to score at 3/8 of an inch. I'm using very light paper, so I'm trying to just use a very light touch. 3/8 of an inch. It's on each side, and then turn it and score it at 3 1/8 from one end. Okay, I'll do one more. The long way, 3/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch. Turn it the long way, and 3 1/8. Alright, we got those scored, and we do need to finish them up because we have to take off this part. Okay, and notice that this top part is longer than the bottom part, so when you're cutting, where are my trusty scissors? Never where I need them to be. I actually cleaned my craft room, but you would never know it from a disarray that I have right now. Okay, I found them. You want to make sure that you are cutting from the long side and not the short side so that your pocket doesn't get messed up. I think you can kind of see where that line is. But this was the line that we had originally creased on the score pal. And we're just going to cut down to the next one. Remember that 3 1/8? And we're going to cut that off. We're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to cut right on that score line, all the way down to just the very next one, and then cut that off. You end up with something that looks like this. Okay, I'll do one more. Make sure you're cutting the long side and not the short side, and just cut each one of these long tabs off, just till you reach that other score line. And then do it from the other side. Okay, you end up like that. And what you're going to eventually do is fold in each little side, and then you're going to fold it up, and that will make your pocket. They've got some really nice rounded corners, so if you want to do rounded corners, and these two little flaps, I don't think it'll matter too much because we're going to glue those down. But if you want these nice and rounded like those, just take your corner chomper, whatever kind you have, and just chomp each corner off, and then you'll have the rounded look. Okay, easy peasy. Super simple. We've got 2 more to go, and then I'll come back. One other little tip I'd like to share: when you've got the score, you've got this side cut off, and you're folding in your little flaps here, and you're gonna fold it up this way. You want to line up this side and hold it tightly to the edge, and then either take your finger or your bone folder and slide it across. You'll make sure that the ends meet up with the ends like that on these corners, what I'm talking about. These 2 corners, because you don't want a big white piece of that paper or whatever other side that you have sticking out the side. I had that problem when I did one of these other ones, where I folded it down, and this one's kind of crooked, but you can see what I mean. It folded a little funky, and then I had an extra little white on that side, but if I would have held it down when I first put it down and then ran my finger across, I would get a much more even side. It's pretty close. Okay, that's another little just simple tip there. Okay, last piece. Certainly not the least piece, and ignore O'Malley in the background. He's whining for food. He's one of those boy cats that if he doesn't get fed like exactly when he thinks he should be fed, he will whine like someone's killing him until you give him something, so I just have to ignore him sometimes. This last piece should be, and I have to double check because I don't want to give you the wrong information, 12 by 3.5. So I'm going to make sure that this is cut by 12 inches first. Isn't this cool paper? I love this paper. I haven't used very much of it, but it is actually in a pad that's 12 inches long by, however, what is this, how wide? 12 by 8, 12 by 6, 12 by 6. Kind of cool. What did I say again? Oh yeah, 12 by 3.5. So I finished cutting it down to 12. And now I'm going to do it by 3.5. 12 by 3.5. I better double check. 12 by 3.5. Got it. Okay, go ahead and cut. 12 by 3.5. That's the piece we want. Then we need to score. And we're going to turn it the 12-inch side, and we are going to follow the score marks that were laid out by the tutorial on cherryontop.com, and we're going to go 3 inches. Oh, O'Malley, you're not going to die, trust me. 3 1/4 inches. 8 inches, 8 1/4 inches, and 11 inches. So if you're following along with me, let me just go over that again. We're going at 3 and 3 1/4, 8 and 8 1/4, and 11. You got it. Now that we've got our library cards, our pockets, and our outer side of the album, the cover, we're going to go ahead and tape our pockets down. I'm just using this score tape. It's by Express It. Just a double-sided tape. And of course I'm going to put some on each side. And then we're going to glue the pockets down. One on each side of those. Oh, and I put it on the wrong side, didn't I? I did. Alright, well, just because I did that, let me show you the wrong way. Which we can also get rid of. Because it's going to be inside the book, you won't see it. You can actually take this and adhere it to the back. And you'll still have a pocket. Okay. Now let's do it the right way. Alright. I actually wanted to put it on this side because that hides them, of course. I'm not going to sweat it. I usually don't. You can hide a lot of stuff in crafting. So now that I've got it on the inside, now I'm going to fold it down. Oh, I actually think the other way was a little easier. And totally fits in there too. Nice. Okay, 2 more to go. So we've got our 4 pockets made, and I just, stashed the cards in there for safekeeping. We need to do the fold lines, the score lines on our cover. If you want to call it the base, the cover. Okay. That one, like 1 inch end that you have, that's the one that goes down. And then it goes up and up. And this one comes down and down. I'm not going to get too detailed about, how you fold it, but when you get all done, it should look like that. It should overlap some. Okay, so you can kind of tuck it in if you want, or keep it on the outside. But that's the cover, and then these are going to go on the inside here. Okay, last step, I'm going to show you how to put these pockets together and adhere them to your cover. Alright, according to them, they say that you should put the tape, so I have a stack of 4, right? I'm going to move one over, I'm going to put the tape down the center of this one, and that's how we're going to put it together. Not all the way around the whole thing, because we want it to have some give and move, so just the center, okay? So that's what I'm going to do, and put it right down the center. Or approximately so. I mean, I'm not going to worry about measuring it out or anything like that. And that, you're going to move that one over and take the top one that doesn't have any on it, and that's now going to be the one behind it. And put this one right on top. Line it up with the bottom edge. And then the sides, and just give it a firm press. See how you've got, like, it'll come out like a bungee kind of? But it'll be together in the middle. That's what you want. Here's my mistake one. I want to put that one on the back. See the one where I accidentally glued them to the back side? That's going to be my last one. So take your next one. Put your adhesive down the middle. And then take the 2 that you have together already. Line them up on top of that one. And press them together. Now you've got 3. We're going to do the very last one. Ooh, static cling. Alright, just in case you forgot, we have these 3. Okay, that's going to go right on the top of this one. And stick them together Now we've got all 4. Nifty. I really like this. Kind of cool. And now we're going to put it inside the cover. Make sure that this part that bends down here, that's the bottom front. The one that's totally full and straight goes on the top. That comes down over the top. So we want to put this inside here so that the bottom's going to meet that bottom scored part that we have and make it a full pocket. And you're going to want to line it up so you have a little equal space on both sides, of course. So what I'm going to do is now, because I want this to be down fully, I don't know, do I want to do the whole thing or do I want to do... You know what, I think I'm going to do the exact same thing we did with the rest of them. I'm just going to put tape on the back down the center. If I don't like it, I can add more tape on or wet glue on the sides later. Okay, have that on the back. You're going to line the bottom of this up with the top of the top score line here of these two on the top of it, so that when you lift this up, the bottom meets it. I hope that I explained that okay. So line it up in the middle. Make sure you put it like right on that line, so it's lined up. And there you have it. It's in there. And then that makes a nice flat base because you put it on the top. Whoops! The pockets are falling out. And make it an Irish one. The pockets are falling out. There we go. And then that'll come down and your book is finished. So embellish it any way you want. I hope this helps. See you later.